What's up YouTube, Silver Dragons here, and in this video we're going to talk about how the US election could affect silver prices. We're going to talk about the short term, but also we're going to talk about how they might be affected for years to come. So let's do it! Thank you so much for watching my video. I do sincerely appreciate it. If you want to learn more about investing in precious metals, or if you just want to watch awesome videos about gold and silver, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Alright, so I am filming this video on Tuesday, November 4th. It is 9 o'clock in the morning, and as of right now, there is no result for the US president election. They're still counting all the votes, etc., etc. You know, we might find out today, we might find out in a few days. I don't know, but what I do know is that the price of silver is likely going to be affected by the election. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to look at the past two presidential elections, see what happened to the price of silver after those, and then we can sort of predict what might happen this time around. After that, we're going to talk about what the price of silver might do for years to come, so definitely stick around for that. Alright, so we're kicking it off with the 2012 election. Many of you will remember this is when Obama won. Now, on election day, November 6th, there was a silver price of $31.96. And then at the end of the month, on November 30th, the price of silver was $33.39. So that is a net gain of $1.43. So after a Democrat was elected, the price of silver went up. Now let's look at 2016. Okay, so 2016 was the year that President Trump was elected. He's our current president now. On election day, November 8th, the price of silver was $18.34. At the end of the month, on November 30th, it was $16.51. So this was a net loss of $1.83. So a Republican was elected and the price of silver went down. Now here are all of the results side by side. So again, 2012, Democrat won, the price of silver went up. In 2016, a Republican won and the price of silver went down. So that brings us to now, 2020. So we can sort of assume, just looking at the last two elections, if this is going to continue this year, then if Joe Biden wins, we will see the price of silver go up by the end of the month. And if President Donald Trump wins re-election, we'll see the price of silver go down. Now remember, this is just for the month of November, so this is super short term, but I think that looking at the past really gives us a good idea of what might happen in the future. Alright, so there you go. That's what happened in 2012 and 2016. Now, is that going to happen this year in 2020? It's hard to say. In my personal opinion, it probably is true that if a Democrat wins, we'll see the price of silver go up, just because if you look at Joe Biden's plans for taxes and everything, he definitely wants to weaken the US dollar more than Trump does, in the sense that he wants to create more currency. And when you create more currency, obviously you have inflation, and with inflation, we will see the price of silver go up. So I think a lot of people would be worried about that, and so we probably would have stronger silver prices. Now, if Trump wins, you know, they're still going to be expanding the currency supply. I mean, we're basically in a recession right now, so no matter who wins, they're going to be printing more money, we're going to have more inflation, and I think the price of silver is going to go up eventually either way. But with Donald Trump, some of his views are a little bit more conservative, obviously, and so it's likely that the US dollar wouldn't be weakened as fast. At least people wouldn't be worried about that initially, and so I think we might see the price of silver even dip down. You know, we've seen the stock market go up the last couple days. It's been very strong. A lot of people are sort of on edge now, waiting for the results, waiting to see what might happen. So I think there can be a lot of volatility here in the short term. Now, again, you got to remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just another dude here on YouTube. I call it like I see it, and this is what I'm seeing right now. But all of that being said, I do want to talk about what could happen to the price of silver, regardless of who wins the presidential election. So in 2021, in 2022, you know, what can we expect? Do we ultimately think the price of silver is going to go down, or will it continue to go up? Because this year it has gone up significantly already. And right now we're sitting at around $24 an ounce for the spot price of silver. So here's my thoughts on long term. Either way, and I've said this in videos in the past, whoever wins, we're probably going to see much more currency creation, just for the simple fact that we seem to be in a recession. And in 2008, when Obama was elected, we were also in a bit of a recession, right? It was the Great Recession, actually. And so maybe a little bit more than a bit. But either way, it took a while for the price of silver to reach its all-time high. You know, the price of silver was only about $10 an ounce back in 2008. And it went all the way up to around $50 an ounce. But this took about 3 years. It wasn't till 2011 until we saw the really strong prices for silver. And then obviously, as I just showed in this video, in 2012, we still had price of silver in the 30s. So because it appears that we're in a recession now, you know, I think we could see a very similar trend. A lot of people are saying we're in a precious metals super cycle. So it really could be 2 to 5 years before we see these much higher prices. I think that we will ultimately see much higher prices for gold and silver, just for the simple fact that the US dollar seems to be getting much weaker, and it's going to continue to be getting weaker because of all of the currency that they're creating. Now, I know that a lot of the countries around the world are also creating massive amounts of currency. So, you know, is the dollar going to get weaker compared to those other currencies? That's hard to say. You know, it's sort of a race to debase. Who can make their currency the weakest the fastest? And so, you know, that's why I think it might take a few years before we see the much higher prices, but ultimately we are going to have more inflation. One of the things that I've shown in videos in the past is the US national debt and what it's projected to increase to. Now, my most recent video on that is talking about the $27 trillion of debt we're currently in. If you want to watch that video, I'll put a link up in the corner as well as a link down below in the description. Definitely check it out because honestly, we are doomed. At least the dollar is doomed. It's going to continue to get weaker for years and years to come, you know, regardless of who wins. So what I would recommend doing is, if you're not already buying silver, if you're not already buying gold, now is a great time to do so. You know, I know the prices seem to be a little bit higher than they were last year. Obviously, gold is much higher. Gold has really been on a bull run for the last few years. But either way, I think buying right now is still a good idea, because even if the price of silver goes down slightly over the next few months, even over the next, 6 months to a year, I think ultimately we are going to see much higher prices down the road. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but based on everything I've seen, based on the fact that we seem to be in a super cycle for precious metals, I think we'll see the prices go much higher for years and years to come. Now, the last thing I want to say is my intention for this video is not to get political. My intention for this video is not to give anyone financial advice. I'm simply looking at things that have happened in the past and making some predictions for what might happen in the future. You know, I appreciate everyone watching. Please subscribe for more content. You know, we've grown quite a few subscribers this year, so thank you all so much for the support. I want to say a massive thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in my next one. Silver Dragons out.